Hey guys, welcome to 2021. I hope everybody is doing good and feeling good and excited about the new year. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I'm actually like a month late because I've been so busy with my side other businesses that it's been just very crazy, very busy, and I hope the same for you guys. I am going to be starting with a brand new deck, and I love it. It is absolutely amazing. It's the Light Seers deck, tarot deck, and it's just fantastic. I really like the imagery on it. I like the messages that it brings, so we're going to be using that today and probably throughout this whole deal. So I am going to focus, I promised in December's videos that I would be looking at love as well as the main focus of the month, and I wanted to focus on the astrological energies, and I devised the questions based on all of the different astrological changes that we'll see. And this reading is actually going to be covering January and February because I am late and I don't want you guys to wait a full month to get January, and I like to disperse kind of one by one. So you're not waiting. I'm going to do a combination of January energy and February energy. But before we get started, I did want to just give a quick message on how those energies are going to look for you, and then I will kind of specify a little bit further for your particular zodiac as well. But for everybody in general, the first 2 weeks or so of January is going to be really focused around that new moon solar eclipse energy, and it's kind of coming from mid-December in the sign of Sagittarius and kind of into January. That energy started out with these promised, opportunities of exploration and discovery and kind of this awakening and giving us that courage to expand our horizons and gain some insight from experiences and not feel quite so anxious about the end of the year, but more excited for the beginning of the new year. So you're a little bit more inclined to nurture yourself, your faith, your hope, your vision. And it's really, as we get into January, I would recommend not to jump too much into new adventures. I certainly would be a bit more aware of your impulses this coming month. As you follow through, just be easy at this time. Impulses can definitely work the better of us if we're not in tune with our needs, and it can lead to mistakes if we are not focused on that properly. So just watch for making decisions while in the freedom of all cost kind of mindset. Okay, now at the end of January, Mercury is going retrograde. Don't freak out. It's going into the sign of Aquarius on the 30th. And the main questions I'm focusing in the end of January and beginning of February does focus on Mercury retrograde, how you can prep for it, what you can do to kind of stay in touch with staying a step ahead of the game here, so to speak, so that you don't have a whole lot of you have more benefit from the retrograde than you do that decline that a lot of people can sometimes feel. Mercury retrograde in Aquarius will kind of tap into our more humanitarian side of things. So more prone to inner muse when it comes to innovative ideas, or slowdowns and delays might be likely when it comes to productivity, as opposed to being more in touch and in tune with your relationships, if you will. Okay, as we get into February, we are going to have an accumulation of planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, and the Sun are going to come into Aquarius, and this alignment will be boosted with the entry of Venus in the sign of Aquarius as well. So it'll tell us more about the desire for emotional independence, and on the other hand, with the square between Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus, it will also have it'll allude to eternal resistance to changes. So also be aware of that when you are maybe facing some shifts that you might feel a little bit outside of your box. You definitely don't want to necessarily just elude from it. You want to look at it, especially if it's during that retrograde period, on what that lesson can bring for you. Other than that, the best time to ask for a favor is going to be February 12th through the 13th, when the planets are adding a special blessing in a beautiful way. Okay, so we're going to kind of get into this. I've got about 8 or 10 questions for you guys. I will find out the best message for you when it comes to love, and then when we get into the March readings, I will really start looking into that, but I want to focus more on you for the first part of the year. Okay, so let's get into it. I appreciate your patience with all that, but a lot of good information. I think you should be informed. That's super important, so let's get into it. All right, guys. All right, Leos, let's take a look and see where we can apply this Capricorn energy the best. for you guys. We're going to take a look at these long-term goals and what needs your attention. But we're going to start here with this new moon in Capricorn and see what messages come out for you guys. All right, so where do you need to apply this Capricorn energy? Magician. All right, Leo. So putting that magician energy, that full power, motivation, mastery of your skills and talents, just knowing you can accomplish the world. That is where you belong. That energy is very powerful for you right now. In other words, anything that you want, you can kind of accomplish right now, okay? What long-term goals need your attention? Well, not relationships right now. Right now it is, well, actually, I take that back. Because of the energy, you know, I wouldn't take on any new adventure, any new business ventures. I would more focus on any lack in the relationship section at the moment in your life. So if you've got things that you haven't really addressed, or you've kind of put on hold, or you haven't really maybe you've been resisting certain things, or maybe you haven't put enough energy into it, now's the time to handle that, because I feel like this is kind of just happening, but you need to have this part in balance no matter what. This is just happening for you. But if you don't have this situation under control, then this is not going to take place for you. So if you need to deal with this, deal with it. Put it into a positive perspective, put it into a space that you can deal with later, whatever it is. Just make sure it's in a place where you can still pursue your ultimate ambitions, but you're not hurting anyone in the process, okay? So that does take balance, and that is what this energy in the next couple months is about. It's about balancing exactly that, your goals, your ambitions, your career, with your home, with your personal self. Easier said than done, but it's not that it can't be done. It's about looking for the opportunity and for the positive in this particular challenge, okay? Now, what needs to be cleansed from your reality here? Two of Wands and in reverse. So stop looking for anything extra, anything new. Stop where you're at. Just address what you already have on your plate. Whatever ambitions, goals, projects, plans, relationships, whatever you have right now is what you need to address. Decide who or what you're going to pursue, and decide who or what you're going to let go and not pursue. Okay, because you may or may not have a few too many things on your plate at the moment. What do you need to detach from? Two of Swords in the reverse. So if you've got some people in your life that are not conducive, that are not bringing you positive, vibes, that are only maybe bringing you down or creating more discouragement than it's worth, let that go. All right, because to me, you need to take a more practical step towards things, which is finding those energies around you that are going to be relieving for you, okay? They're going to be easier energies to work with. They're going to be similar to maybe the achievement or the effort that you put out, so you're not just taking over everybody else's stuff and being taken advantage of, but everybody's actually working together to create a good team and to create a good result here, not just you. Now, as we get into the new moon in Aquarius here, we're going to look at how you can expand your vision. Knight of Wands in reverse, which is interesting. So you might have someone around you that is maybe bringing you down a little bit, almost kind of in a jealous way. Like when you express what you want, it's almost hard to determine what it is they're trying to say, because it comes off really almost like passive aggressive. And so you've got some situations here where you've got a snake in one situation, you got a bat in the other one, so you got like an energy sucking vampire, you've got this snake that's just kind of like envious, jealous, and then you've got this opportunity that's just super flowing. So maybe it's the friend or the route that just might seem, new or different, but it's the one that feels and resonates the best because it doesn't have that type of energy behind it. That is really what it's saying, to take a moment and look at the difference, and don't miss the opportunity just when you have a potential to gain something, rather than surrounding yourself with these people who need emotional sustenance. You can refuse that and just allow yourself to just proceed with stability and without all that drama, okay? So what benefit will Aquarius energy bring you overall here? Nine of Cups. in the reverse. So fulfillment. If there's something that hasn't been fulfilled, this is your opportunity to fulfill it, and it will give you that opportunity to do so. Okay. The retrograde. How will the retrograde lessons affect you? Death and rebirth. So everybody's got this card. Every single person this month has gotten this card. And I find that very interesting. Above any other card, this is the one that stood out. Yours is in the reverse, however. So I find that interesting because it's talking about not resisting changes and being very aware of them instead. So the retrograde could bring about a lesson that you can learn from, and if you avoid it or you try to see it for something that it's not, it can certainly backfire on you and create an opportunity where you don't gain from it. You actually can regress from it. And honestly, I hate to say it, Leos, but for being such a good reading and such a bubbly personality, you guys actually have one of the higher potentials for having kind of a tougher retrograde this particular season. The rest really, I guess everybody has the potential, but you guys have more so than others because you have to see things kind of for face value. Oh, as I say that, there's the Tower card. So the best prep that you can do to avoid this, and I will say that's the first Tower card that's come out for the retrograde as far as prep goes. Or just general lessons, okay? Prep, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups, 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 10 of Cups. So what can create a good commitment later, even if it's something that you don't quite feel the same about at that particular moment, that doesn't mean that it can't become something later. I hope that makes sense. It's so hard sometimes. It's not me. I'm like, I'm just trying to mediate for between like energy and people. I swear sometimes. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. 8 of Swords in reverse. Healing, patience, alright, just desiring for only that high vibes and moving up and going big or going home kind of energy. Staying a step ahead of the game. If there's something that you need to transform now or something you need to deal with, definitely do it ahead of the game. Since you did have somebody or some people come out that don't have your best interest at heart, you might even be dealing with that particular situation. What you need to balance is the Chariot. You've got a lot going for you right now. So people who aren't in it with you, don't have your best interest at heart, are only going to bring you down. That is something you do need to deal with. Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles. So, you've got some pretty badass energy coming your way. And, this could be even love. And if you've got this kind of energy coming, but you've got other energies that are like jealous of it and kind of going against the grain of what you're ultimately desiring, that could be a potentially hazardous situation. So just kind of keep that in mind. Regarding love, Page of Cups and the Hangman in reverse. So I do see a love or romantic offer coming your way that just kind of sparks things and gets things going, and also brings a sense of understanding of the choice you need to make between certain people and certain connections that you have in relationships, okay? If you have questions about that specifically, feel free to reach out. Chakra-wise, I just want to take a peek and see kind of where you guys are at. The Truth, this is coming out also. Both of these chakra and crown chakra and throat chakras are coming out for a lot of people. So to find that spiritual awakening, speaking your truth, speaking openly and honestly, and following, that reality is really the best case scenario for bringing in your abundance even faster. So if you want to look at your situation personally, if you're trying to kind of unblock some things or see kind of where your blockages might be, the free assessment link is down below. So feel free to reach out if you want to look at your private situation. Otherwise, I hope you have a great couple months, and I wish you guys the best. Much love. We'll talk to you soon.